Hi everybody, it's Diana with Stamping with Di. Welcome to my YouTube channel and this week's Mimeograph Monday with a Twist. And I'm going to be playing with the new Woolly Friends bundle. And these little sheep are so adorable, so I wanted to play with them today. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Diana and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And I'm in Santan Valley, Arizona. So welcome. So if you are new to my channel, I'm in the chat room during the video premiere. So head over there. I'll be with my friends. If you're watching a replay and you have a question or a comment, leave it below and then YouTube lets me know and I can reach out to you. I am having so much fun with this bundle. So Mimeograph Monday basically means I'm going to do two projects. The first one will be my version of the Stampin' Up! Card or project, and then I'll do a twist on it, which is more my style. And this is a real fun series, and everybody seems to like it. So it's kind of like one of those things, because you're copying. It's like if you ever went to like one of my classes, I'd have the sample card there, and then you would make it. So it's kind of like that, right? Like I have Stampin' Up's card I'm using, from online, the picture, and then I go, okay, then I'm going to change it up and do my style. So it's kind of fun. I do enjoy it. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do today. So since I'm doing two projects, I better stop my blabbing so we can get started. All right, so close your eyes while I get my camera adjusted. Okay, so here is the cute stamp set. Look at that little sheep face. It's got some really cute sayings, an awesome little font. I love that. And then it has a coordinating punch. So see that? All right. And I just put the little, like when I do my little name tag, it has a name here, but when I put it in my organizing bin, it's easier to see it up here. It's kind of like I've done my dies for years. I just put the little thing up to the left so I can flip through, because I put them alphabetical. So that's what there. But when I put the star, it just means I need to look for something. So it either has a die, maybe it has a mask, or an embossing folder, or this one has a punch. And then I do the same thing on the punch. I put a little asterisk so then I know it has a stamp set or something that goes with it. All right. So that's what we're going to use today. Now I am going to do some heat embossing. So I want to do that first just so I can get that out of the way. But this is the card I'm going to do here. So adorable. All right. Now they didn't have certain things listed. Like they didn't have basic black cardstock listed. So sometimes, they miss things. We're all human. Now they did use mixed up patterns 12 by 12. I don't have that. So I just used something I had here in the studio, which is actually was the one of the product of the month DSPs, and it works perfect. All right, so this I'm going to do some white embossing. So I just kind of want to get that done. So I have my heat gun off to the side. So we're going to stamp with the Versamark. And my greeting is it this one? Nope. Hang on a minute. Here it is. All right. And it's off to the side a little bit. Now I think, personally, once I got doing it, I think they just stamped it on the black paper and fussy cutted it. But I did a stylish shapes. So, all right. So I'm just going to stamp my U, make me happy. And I did off to the side so I can trim it. I'll let that soak in a tad before I tap it off. I'll have to close that door if the dog keeps at it. All right. Now I'm going to heat that up. So once it starts to turn, just move to a different area so you don't cook it too much into the paper. We just want to heat set it. We don't want to cook it in the paper. Right. And the more you use your heat gun, the quicker it sets up. Alrighty. Now I'm going to unplug this. Alright. Just to be on the safe side. Alright. So this is just the white embossing powder. It comes, I believe, in a package with a few different things. Oh, here's the tongs. I was like, I wonder where the tongs are. They're right there. And then there's the tool kit, which comes with the little tidy tray, has a brush, has the little tongs, and it has the little embossing buddy, which I should have used, but I didn't. All right. So that is done. So then we can just start working on our card. All right. So I have my little mat here. Okay. Now what I did was I made myself a guide for me to put the stamp on the block so that I can punch it out easy. So I just punched out just a plain one. And then what I did was I laid my pieces within that hole. And I'm not using this one. Within the hole. So I laid them in there and then I plopped the block down and then it picked them up and now they're right in the spot for the die. And then I'll just put this, this is scrap. It's got a piece cut out of it. And I'll just keep that with the stamp set so that I always have it. All right, so let me get some scrap paper over here. All right. So I want my memento pad. And we're going to do a little sheep. So I need 3 sets of sheep. 1, 2, and I don't think I can get another one in there. Nope, I have more scrap. I've always got scrap on my desk. And I also sometimes have crap on my desk. I have too much stuff going on. All right. So now what we do is we just flip this over. Oh, you know what? I'm going to close this pad because I can just see those flipping upside down and landing on that pad. Because they do go flying, these pieces, when you punch them out. All right, because now when I put it in here, I can do all 3. Now, I could have even did the little bow, but I'm not using the bow, so I didn't bother putting it in there. But it is on that little master that I made, so if I use it down the road. All right, so see how they go flying? So we have our head. And there's the little bell. See how easy that is? And then you just kind of wiggle it around till it's where you want it. Another sheep, another bell. And then we're going to color in, because this is a 2-step stamping. Okay, sheep, head, and bell. All right. So I'm going to bring my paper back over here. Because I'm also going to, while I'm inking up the little sheep body, I'm also going to be stamping on the card. So let me get my card here. So this is just basic white thick. Because we're also going to be stamping. We're using the sheep body. And we're stamping it around in the back to make, you know, a design. So what I did do was I did stamp like one of the sheep bodies on a piece of vellum so that I kind of will use this as a guide for my spacing. And I'll show you what I mean when I get going here. All right, so we have our granny apple. And I want to put granny apple on our sheep first. Let's see which way I would held that block. Because I just have to wiggle it just a tad. So I just have to wiggle it just a little bit. All right, so there we go. So we have our sheep body. So that's a granny apple. Okay. So I want to start my granny apple on my card in the background. So I have one up here. And I have one over here. So I have that. So I also want to put one down in here. You might not be able to see it, but so this is just kind of holding that spot so that I have room for, you know, the other colors and everything. I'm also going to put a green here and a green down here. So the first one isn't as necessary, you know, with this as the other. All right. And when my green pad is out, I want a little head. And there's a tiny little curly Q, which makes the head of the sheep have that. And then I just have my cleaning off to the side. Look how messy it is. Oh my gosh, but it works. You just don't need to see it every time because it is a mess. All right, so let's see. So while I've got my green pad open, I also have a piece of basic white. And this is 5.5 by 2.5. And this is what the little sheep are going to be on. But I need to stamp my grass. So we have our little grass on there. All right, so now I'm done with granny apple. Then we want balmy blue. So I need a balmy blue sheep and a head. So we have our balmy blue sheep and the little head piece. That is so cute. The little head bit. All right, so now I want to put some of these blues. So we're going to put a blue there. I'm going to put a yellow here. Let's see, I'm going to put a yellow there. I'm going to put a blue here. So yellow's going to go here, yellow's going to go there. So I think that's good enough. Let me wash my little head curlicue thing. All right. And now I have daffodil. And then I can just kind of fill in some yellows. Okay, so we've got that really cool looking background. And let's bring a little sheep over. Okay. And a little curlicue. Isn't this so adorable? Oh my gosh. Okay. Then I have my basic gray because the little sheep bell also has a little two-step stamping. Okay. And then the third little guy didn't have a bell. All right. We're also going to be using some watercolor pencils. So that's just going to color in the ear holes. And also a little on their cheeks and their nose. So it's really, really subtle. And then there is the blue, just for the strap on the bell. Okay, so let me bring this over. Now they've also done some splattering. So let me get my sheep out of the way. And I just have my little splatter guard here. And they didn't say what they splattered with, so I'm just going to use the light balmy blue. And I'm just going to flick around some balmy blue, light balmy blue, and also on the card. Okay. I love to put little splatteries. All right. So this is the DSP that I grabbed. So this is from the Blue Floral or some of that. That was one of the product of the month. I believe it was December's. I don't know if it's still available or not. You have to order $75 before tax and shipping in order to get the product of the month each month. But you can get, like say you didn't get last month's and it's still available, you could pick it this month as long as you didn't pick it already. But if you want to pick this month's and last month's, if they're both still available, it has to be two different $75 before tax and shipping orders. I think it's just because of the computer, like the system, so it doesn't get like confused. I mean, that's just me guessing. You know, I don't know. I'm just guessing. All right, but I just know that's, we've been told you have to do two different orders. So, all right. So now let's put our card together. So we have this cute little sheep over here. We have this cute little sheep over here. And then we have the little green guy in the center. Okay. And I'm going to put their heads on with dimensionals. So that they stick out a little bit. away from their bodies. Okay. Which head is this? This is the blue one. All right, so the blue one, his head is over here. Like that. Which one is this? This is the yellow one. And his head is right straight on. And then this will be the green one. And his head is kind of askew, like he's going, huh? Huh? What you say? All right. And then I'm going to put these on with glue dots. And this other guy didn't have a bell. So I'm just sticking it right up there. And in this little one with his head askew, I will have his bell be kind of askew as well. All right. And then this goes right on the card like that. Like it's the same width as the card. And I'm going to put that on with dimensionals too. And I'm also going to use the blue gingham ribbon. Okay. So that just goes on here. So it has a little bit sticking on the bottom and more sticking on the top. All right, so we have the You Make Me Happy. And the gingham ribbon. Oh, right here. Underneath my ink pads. Okay, so I'm just going to cut myself a length of it. That's too much, but hey. Okay. So I'm just going to put some seal on that tag, and I'm just going to lay my ribbon, and I just folded it in half, and then I'm just going to stick it on here like that. I'm just going to put a little bit of Scotch tape on the back. Okay. And then I can just trim like that. And then this is just going to go like that. So I'm just going to put a couple little dimensionals on here, and then I'll just plop that little tag on there. Oh my gosh, these little things. All right. So there is the first card. Isn't that so cute? Oh my gosh, those little sheeps. And then nothing is on the inside of that one. All right, so now I can hardly wait to show you my twist. So for my twist, I'm using some different designer series paper. So I'm going to use the wood grain, and I'm also using Floral Delight. Okay. I'm also going to be using some gray granite. And because I'm going to make my sheep be gray. I remember a few years ago, we had another little sheep, I don't know how long ago, and I colored him the same way with the gray granite. So that's what I wanted to do, in case you forgot about that. All right, so I'm just going to stamp with the Memento. Okay. And then I'm going to punch it out. And then we're going to use a paintbrush and the white craft refill. Okay. That uses your muscles. All right. So I'm going to do a white. Let's see. I want a white. All right, hang on a second. Because I also want the little bell in white. Okie dokie pokey. All right, so let's color our sheep really quick. Now what I did was I just took some of, you know, the Whisper White craft ink, and I have like a little, I think it's like a salt well or something. I don't know. I squirted it in there. I put a little water in there. I have a little, look at I found at the dollar store. Isn't it cute? It's a little water cleaner doohickey. You can even have a place to put your brushes. Oh, that was so cute. All right, so I have it off here, and it squishes down flat. So I have this in here, and then I'm just kind of, I don't want it to be super, super thick, because we're almost kind of doing like a whitewash. All right, so I'm just kind of bringing this in like that. And I added probably more water than I needed, so it's a little bit more whitewashy than I would like it to be. All right, so we'll let that dry a little bit, and then I'll see if I need to come in and do a little bit more. All right. So set that aside so it can dry. All right, and then let's get to our card. So I have Everyday Arches is going to be, you know, what my sheep's going to go on. So we're going to do a little blending brush. What is this? I want to make sure I'm doing the right one. That's Granny. I have all these colors. So I have my Lemon Lime Twist and my blending brush. So we're just going to put a little Lemon Lime Twist on the bottom. And I'll get it really kind of dark around the edges. Okay. And then I want Balmy, and I just flipped it over. I'm going to turn my grid sheet over, and I want to put some Balmy in the sky. So I'm kind of bringing it like in, so it almost looks cloud-like. So I'm going to leave a little bit of white in the sky as well. see it kind of looks like clouds. And then you have this nice white area there. Okay, and then I have my my granny apple. I also want my basic, or my memento as well. Because now we're going to kind of make a scene. You know me, I like to make a scene. So let's see here. How much? I'm going to get some of that off my sheep head. All right. Because I just kind of want to get an idea where my sheep's going to go. So I think I want my sheep here. And the little head. And when I was doing the sheep, and when I punched it out, I was like, oh, that kind of looks like a tree. So we're going to do, I'm going to stamp this. And then my granny apple. Okay. Then I'm going to punch it out. Actually, you know what? I'm going to fussy cut it. And for the life of me, I cannot find my snips. So they're probably up underneath something. So I'm just going to use these. They're not the best, but all right. And I'm just going to cut this out. Because see, when you use the punch, I'm going to get those little feet. So I'm just going to fussy cut it out. And it doesn't take long. It would take less time if I could find my snips, but and so we're making this into a tree. Now, what does a tree need? A tree needs a trunk. So that's why I use that wood grain paper. There. Because doesn't that look like a little tree? All right, so then I have the wood grain paper. And I'm simply going to cut like a tree trunk. We'll make it a little wiggly maybe. All right. So there's my trunk. And then I'm just going to just so that that's not even. And then this will simply get glued on there. Doesn't that look like a tree trunk? I do want to make it a little skinnier though, when it goes up into the tree. Is that a little skinnier? All right. So let me glue that to my tree, and then we'll just let it sit because I also want to have that be over here, kind of like this. So we have our tree, we have our sheep, we're going to have some grass, but we have the tulips, and I want to put tulips as well. So I'm just kind of like putting things around. So I'm going to put the tulips. So we're going to have tulips here. We'll put some little tulips here. Okay. Because our sheep's going to be here. Our tree. And little tulip there. All right, because then what I want to do is I want to get the little grass. And I want to put some grass with my tulips. Okay, but I also want a little grass for the sheep. Okay, and we'll put a little grass back here. You might not see it, but because it's kind of behind the tree. All right. Now, these also have two-step stamping. So let's do the leaves. So I'm going to do the leaves with the granny apple. Okay. Isn't this starting to look so cute? I think it's starting to look adorable. All right, and then my poppy parade for my tulips. Speaking of tulips, oh my gosh, when we were at Costco, they had tulips and orchids. So I got a thing of tulips, and it came in a glass jar about yay big, and it had like this knitted crocheted thing on the bottom of it that it sits in. And they're like purple, and they're all, I'm pretty sure all of them are open now. Oh my gosh, it is so pretty. And I'm hoping it lasts a while because it's the bulbs, right? It's not like cut tulips. It's, you know, bulbs. All right, I am like way off because this is way away from my view. All right. Let's see, I'm done with the poppy. Okay. So we're going to have our tree and our sheep. So let me get my, because I think I have enough white on here on my sheep, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my gel pen and I'm going to add some little gel pen squiggles because that will make him look even cuter too. Okay. And then I want to take my dark gray granite and we'll just put a little bit on the top of the legs. Like that. All right. And then some little flirty in the ear hole and the cheeks and the nose. All right. So let's put our sheep on. Because I also want to put a greeting. We have our sheep. Okay, so we have our little sheepy poo. Oh my gosh, frog in my throat. All right. Then we have our sheep head. And I'm going to kind of have his head be kind of at an angle. And, okay. Now I've lost the... Oh, here it is. I was like, what do I do with his little bell? All right, because I'm just going to color this in with the blends. So I have light poppy. And I want the bell to look kind of gold. So I'm going to use Daffodil and Cajun Craze together. So I'm just going to take the Cajun Craze on one side. And then I'm going to take the Daffodil on the other. And then I just kind of go over that place where it meets, and it looks like a gold bell. Cool, right? All right. And then let me put a little dinger. We'll just use our gray granite for our dinger. Ringer, dinger, dinger. All right, and then I'm going to put that on with a glue dot. For a second there, I looked up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope I put the timer on, or the clock on, or the camera on. Because sometimes I'll stop it if I have to edit, or, you know, Jeff needs me or something, then I come back and I start working and then I don't have it on. All right, but I did. All right, and our cute little bell. Okay, and then we're going to put our tree. And I'm just keeping the dimensionals kind of in the center because I want the tree to go off the page. Okay, it's got a little tree. You are so cute. All right, now I want to put my saying. So the saying is going to be, "You're simply fabulous." And I'm just going to do that with the memento. And I'm going to put it right there. And then it has a really cute little butterfly. Like that. Okay. And oh, my pumpkin. All right. And then I want to put a little something on the inside. So this is just a piece of that same DSP that I used for the tree trunk. So I'm just going to put a little bit of it on the inside of the card. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp some tulips. And you make me happy. Off to the side. So let me open up my Happy Parade. I'll see if I can get this lined up better. I have to bring it more closer to my head. There's a little better. All right. And I like that it doesn't go fully, like, so then it gives you that little highlight or whatever. All right, so where's my leaf stamp? Okay, and let's put a little grass. Okay. Isn't that so adorable? It is so darling. Oh my gosh. I just love that. Okay, so now I think we're ready to put our card together. With all my stuff like everywhere. All right, so let's see. Now here we have, so we're going to go basic white thick, of course, for our card base. It seems to be the one that I use pretty much 99% of the time. Okay, maybe 98, but pretty much. All right, and then this is where that floral paper came from. But I'm putting it here because it looks like linen or some sort of fabric. And I thought that looked really cute on the card. Because we have so much going on with all the stamping, I didn't want to have anything too loud back there. All right. And then let's put this on the inside. And then I didn't put any bling. I mean, I could, but I didn't. So that goes on the inside, which is adorable all in itself, I think. All right, and then we're going to put this on with dimensionals. Those little tulips are so cute. And I think they may go with, I don't want to talk out of turn because I could be wrong, but we have that other set, right, with the tulip and the dies, and I wonder if, and if it doesn't go exactly, it surely would complement it. All right, so this is going to go on here like that. And look how stinking cute that is. All right, so here was Stampin' Up's version. And here is my twist. They are both adorable, both stinking cute, and hopefully this will make you be interested in this bundle. All right, so let me say, see you later, alligator. Oh, I just love how this turned out. Now, so this is the one I did for you guys on camera. Boop, boop. And this is the one I did earlier. And can you see the difference? I can't even hold them right. Can you see the difference? This one, gosh, I have to go the opposite. This one, I put some little red dots so it looks like an apple tree. I thought that was cute. But I didn't put it on the other one just so that they're a little bit different. But so do you like them better with the apples or without? So anyway, so thank you so much for joining me today. Let me know what you think. Make sure you come back tomorrow for my Teach Me Tuesday. I have another cute little card to share with you. And that will be 3 o'clock Arizona time, same channel. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.